It is World Multiple Sclerosis Day, by the way. And joining me now is Crystal Anderson and Evan Conant of the National MS Society. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Let's start off first with, maybe a simple question, but a question that maybe not many people know about. What is multiple sclerosis?
So, layman's terms, think about the brain as an amazing supercomputer, lots of wires, chips, and when it works well, it's amazing, right? But when it's broken, those wires and superconductors don't work so great, and that's what MS is, right? There's short circuits in the brain, the central nervous system, which includes the brain and spinal cord. So that causes internal miscommunication, and then also makes for difficult communication to the rest of the body and coordination and feeling and everything else. In simple terms, that's what MS is. There's something wrong with the brain. The disease doesn't have a name, so multiple sclerosis means multiple breakdowns, multiple lesions in the brain. And we're praying for a scientist someday to come up with a name so we know what to call the disease.
Really quickly, what are some myths that maybe should be dispelled about MS?
Sure. So probably most important myth number one is you might have the symptoms, you might see this story on the news and think like, oh, okay, I just have this MS thing, not a big deal, I'll see my doctor when I get around to it. Or you see a doctor and you think, well, my symptoms aren't a big deal, I'm not gonna get treatment. I'm not gonna take one of the 25 plus therapies we have today to treat multiple sclerosis. So really important that patients go see their doctor. It's really important they get online, they go to the MS Society website, they educate themselves about what the disease looks like and get it treated.
We're here also because we're also touting this fundraising Bike MS, large fundraising bike event. Tell us about this year's event.
So Bike MS Colorado is actually the third largest Bike MS event in the country and the largest cycling event in Colorado. We have over 2,000 riders who ride between 32 and 103 miles over two days, and 100 of those riders actually live with MS. We are also the most supported ride in the country with rest stops every 10 to 12 miles, with bike mechanics at each rest stop, and we have service and gear vehicles along the course to help out with anything in between. We raise over $2.5 million each year, and for anybody that wants to help, you can visit bikemscolorado.org.
It's always inspiring to hear about those stories about the bikers that do have MS that actually take part in this event. How is the money that's raised at Bike MS used?
So with over 1 million people living with MS in the United States, funds raised goes to aid research to help find a cure to end MS. Additionally, we use funds to support our Navigator program, which helps those living with MS and caregivers navigate the ever-changing world of medical questions, programs, basic needs and financial assistance.
Okay, awesome. And if people want to sign up for this or take part or donate, how can they do that?
You can go to bikemscolorado.org. You can volunteer, you can donate, you can sign up to ride. We'd love to have you.
Crystal, Evan, thank you so much. I know it was a very short time, but such an important message, so thank you for joining us this morning. Bike MS, by the way, coming up June 24th and 25th, it kicks off from Front Range Community College and goes to Fort Collins. We have a link to register on our website as well, cbscolorado.com.